want your home to be the one that your neighbors envy. Call 833-6SHELBY. That's 833-6SHELBY.
Today we're going to talk about proper roof ventilation and the importance of ventilation and how it can impact the overall longevity and lifespan of your new roof. Unfortunately, roof ventilation is one of the most often misunderstood aspects of roof replacement. Most roofers out there today don't truly understand what proper ventilation is or how to achieve proper ventilation. Unfortunately, most, actually all, shingle manufacturer warranties will have a clause buried somewhere in the fine print of their warranty that excludes from coverage any roofs that are not adequately ventilated. What is adequate ventilation? That's the problem. They don't give you the definition of what adequate is. Well, there's got to be a line in the sand somewhere. There's got to be a definition of what adequate ventilation is. Here's the answer. It's twofold. Number one, is the roof balanced? Is the roof ventilation balanced between intake and exhaust? And does it meet the 1/300 ratio? What's the 1/300 ratio? Residential Building Code calls for 1 square foot of NFA for every 300 square feet of attic floor space. What is NFA? NFA stands for net free area, and it's basically the amount of ventilation required based on the size of your attic. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's do the math. If you've got a 1,500 square foot attic, roughly a 50 by 30 attic, which is an average size attic, first step in determining how much ventilation you need is to divide that square footage by 300. Because I know I need 1 square foot of ventilation for every 300 square feet of attic space. So if I divide that attic square footage by 300, that tells me I need 5 square feet of ventilation. Next step, making sure that 5 square feet is evenly balanced between intake, low on the roof, and exhaust, high on the roof. So now I'm going to take that 5 square feet and I'm going to split it in half. So I now know I need 2.5 of exhaust and 2.5 of intake. Here's the problem most roofing installers have, is that ventilation manufacturers who make the vents for your roof speak a different language than Residential Building Code does. And what I mean by that is all ventilation products have an NFA rating, which means they've been tested and they tell the roofing installer exactly how much NFA this vent provides. Problem is those ratings are in square inches. Building code speaks in square feet. So the next step now is we have to convert these square footages into square inches. We do that by multiplying the square feet by 144, since there are 144 square inches in a square foot, 12 times 12. So if you take 2.5 square feet times 144, that gives you 360 square inches. So 2.5 square feet is the same as 360 square inches. Now I can determine how much vent product I need for this specific home. I know that for every linear foot of ridge vent I install, this provides 18 square inches of NFA. So if I know I need 360, I very simply just take 360 and divide it by 18. That tells me I need 20 linear feet of ridge vent to hit my 360 minimum. And remember, the 1/300 is only a minimum. It's okay to exceed it as long as you can balance it, as long as it's balanced evenly between intake and exhaust. So now I've determined on this particular job how much exhaust venting I need or how much ridge vent I need for this project. Next, I need to balance that exhaust with an equal 360 square inches or more of intake. It's okay in certain situations to have more intake than you have exhaust. However, it's never okay to have more exhaust than you have intake. The reason why is if you have more exhaust, than you have intake, you're creating a negative air pressure inside your attic, meaning your exhaust vents are starving for intake. You have more going out than you have coming in. And what that does is it causes a draw. It will pull air from the living space below up into the attic because you have more going out than you have coming in. However, it is okay to have more intake than you have exhaust. In a perfect world, we want it to be perfectly balanced. We want the same amount of exhaust as we have intake low on the roof, in a perfect world. So now, I've determined I need 360 square inches of intake. If I'm using a product like an edge vent that's installed rooftop, let's say this house doesn't have soffits, or the house doesn't have vents in the soffits, we need to create intake. This particular product is made to be installed rooftop. We measure 6 inches from the edge of the roof and we snap a chalk line. Where that chalk line is, we cut an 1.5 inch slot out of the roof deck, let's say here, and then this product gets installed rooftop and then we shingle over it. So all you see is this vent running along the eave edge of your home. I know because this product has been tested and rated that for every linear foot of this we install, this gives us 9 square inches of NFA. So if I need 360 and I know this gives me 9 per linear foot, then if I divide the 360 by 9, that will tell me exactly how many feet of edge vent I need on this job. 360 divided by 9 is 40. If you hadn't noticed, the NFA rating for this intake vent is exactly half of the NFA rating for this exhaust vent. They're designed to work together. So if I run ridge vent all the way across the peak of the home, this is 18 per linear foot. It evenly pairs with the 9 square inches along this side of the house and then 9 square inches along this side of the house. The pair of 9s perfectly balance the 18 at the ridge, which gives us a balanced ventilation system.
Do you want your home to be the one that your neighbors envy? Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.